Emefiele punishing Nigerians for his failed presidential bid, says Ganduje. Can you imagine? So now APC cannot move money freely for vote buying. And what they are saying now is that Emefiele is punishing Nigerians for his failed presidential bid. Well, it could be true, since they didn't let him surface very well during the APC primaries. He chose to do his own thing in his own way because he was given a condition. If you want to contest, better resign as CBN governor. And the same thing happened to Rotimi Amechi. Amechi resigned from being a minister of transport and then joined the race, and then he lost. So he lost both ways. It's like Emefiele saw it coming and didn't want to take the risk. To the next thing, he dropped his presidential ambition and went back to his job as CBN governor, where he's still relevant today and doing what he's doing. But the truth is that this issue of Naira redesign is causing problem all over the country as we speak. Very serious chaos everywhere. So I don't know why this is happening like this. I know it's targeted at people who are holding Naira, and also targeted at people who have planned to do vote buying during this election. But then the common masses are the people suffering more because the political class seems to have easy access to the new Naira notes more than the general masses that don't have help and are the people suffering on queues in the bank. And since this crisis started, I've never seen any politician that is shouting that is on the queue and has not seen the new Naira. None of the politicians. It means that they have saved themselves very well from the table. What's on the crumb is what Nigerians, the crumbs on the floor. All right? That is what Nigerians are queuing for in the bank to collect. Quite unfortunate. So Ganduje is coming here to talk because he's in APC. Gandola, somebody that has defaulted in money laundering, and because he's in APC, he was not investigated, he was not challenged. And they say because of immunity. This is crazy in this country, I tell you. The Kano State Governor, Abdullahi Ganduje, has alleged that Central Bank Governor Godwin Emefiele introduced the chaotic change of Naira notes because of the spectacular failure of his presidential bid. Emefiele did what many considered unthinkable when he enrolled last year to join the presidential race after he had secretly registered a member of the ruling All Progressive Congress, APC, and then he went on to file a suit in court to compel the Electoral Commission to accept his presidential bid. Shortly after he pulled out, after it was rumored that an amorphous group had purchased the 100 million naira presidential fund for him. Ganduje, who was speaking at a meeting on Friday between President Muhammadu Buhari and the governors of the ruling party, claimed that the CBN governor did not want the elections to take place. Can you imagine? Ganduje's comment on an Hausa BBC service interview comes following claims earlier in the week by Governor Nasser El-Rufai of Kaduna State, who alleged that some individuals in Aso Rock were attempting to sabotage Bola Tinubu, the APC presidential candidate, from winning the February 25 presidential election. According to Ganduje, the progressive governors had warned Buhari at their meeting that chaos of the Naira replacement will result in untold difficulties for Nigerians. According to him, this is not the agenda of the APC. It is the agenda of those who surrounded the president and the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria. You know, Emefiele, wanted to be the president, but he failed. That is why they don't want the election to hold or prefer another party to win it. Also on Friday, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo described as disturbing the inability of Nigerians to have access to the new Naira notes and the ongoing Naira scarcity, which has caused protests nationwide. It will still be. Osinbajo urges the central bank to engage financial technology companies, fintechs, as well as mobile money agents to address the issue of getting new Naira notes across the country. Oshibajo, in a meeting with some fintech stakeholders, expressed worries over the difficulty in getting new Naira notes and advised the CBN and commercial banks to address the situation immediately. You need cash to pay for transport. For instance, in Abuja, how do you take drops or along or use a keke napep without cash or buy foodstuff on the road or in canteens or even buy recharge cards? Osinbajo said, according to a release by Laolu Akonde, his spokesperson, parents with kids in public schools give money daily to their children for lunch. Most commerce is informal, so you need cash for most things. Speaking further on the redesign of the Naira note, Osinbajo lamented the scarcity of the new notes. More disturbing is the fact that after depositing your old notes, there are no new notes. So people everywhere in the urban areas and rural areas simply have no money, he said. There are logistical challenges that have to be addressed by the CBN and the banks, especially from the point of view of the average Nigerian and those in the hinterland who hardly use any electronic platforms. Osinbajo also said, while there has always been a certain failure rate in online banking and money transactions, they have become even more difficult now with the increase in the number of transactions congesting the system. So, where in the past you used POS or any of the electronic platform, you had maybe 20% to 30% failure rate. Now, because everyone is trying to get on those platforms, obviously the failure rate is much more and the problems are much more pronounced, the vice president noted. We really need to make progress, even as we make efforts to deal with some of these issues confronting us today, he said. So Simbajo, so the meeting they had, Ganduje was there and Simbajo was there as well. So while Ganduje was talking about Emefiele, Simbajo was talking about the hardship, the chaotic condition that the scarcity of new Naira note has thrown us into, and trying to express the sufferings of the common masses and calling on CBN to solve that problem immediately, including commercial banks, and also suggesting that some POS and some fintechs should be allowed to distribute the Naira note so that common man can have access to it easily. But the key thing here is Ganduje trying to indict Emefiele that he is just punishing Nigerians because of his failed presidential bid. Wow. So is it true that Emefiele is punishing Nigerians? Are Nigerians the reason he failed? Or he's just trying to deal with political parties, especially APC? And so what are pointing finger at him now, that according to Tinubu and El-Rufai, that there are some elements around the presidency that are frustrating the campaign of Tinubu and his chances of winning. They either want to make things difficult for him and for Nigeria, or they want other political parties to win the election other than APC. And now they are trying to point finger to Emefiele that this redesign of Naira is part of their agenda. But Buhari is part of it now, because Buhari approved the redesign of Naira. And even when DSS wanted to arrest Emefiele, though he left the country, he said he left the country for vacation. When he came back, all right, the same security forces escorted him from airport to his house at Abuja. And the first thing was to go to Aso Rock to meet with Buhari. Well, so they saw him, they escorted him, and they said they want to arrest him. Who were they deceiving? Or they wanted to arrest him? So it is Buhari is part of all of these. So they should turn to presidency and talk to him as well. Okay, so that is what Ganduje is saying, trying to blame Emefiele for current hardship. Somebody said God will punish will punish him too through that way. Can you imagine? He thinks he want to punish the politicians. So I'm sure these are the APC people. Everybody is suffering actually. Actually, it might be a good plan, a good thing to do, but it's coming at the wrong time, and it's not a major priority issue that is needing attention right now in the country. That's just the problem I have. So it's APC problem. Okay, it's APC problem. So they should solve it because it is APC that has thrown Nigeria into this chaos. This is again where you see APC failing in everywhere and everything they're doing. APC is failing. APC is failing. That is true. APC has failed. And obviously, people are not going to vote APC this time. They are going to lose massively. I know that. So thank you for listening. And let's have a comment concerning what Ganduje is saying about Emefiele.